Now, with the school summer holidays in full swing, my next two guests might have some advice to ease the boredom. Known as the two Mr. P's, thanks to their award-winning podcast and TikTok videos. Primary school teachers Lee Parkinson and his brother Adam regularly share their experience of working in a classroom.
To the library, and a lady at the desk was filling out my... When I was 7, I went to sign up to the library, and a lady at the desk was filling out my form and asked, name of the father? And I said, and the son, and the Holy Spirit.
Lee and Adam join us on Good Morning.
Morning,
It's lovely
morning.
to see. I'm sorry to interrupt your summer holidays. I know they're precious.
Oh, no, don't worry at all. I was just saying, I'm in the middle of an extension in my house, so I've got one room with the... I'm looking at his couch thinking, can I stay here for the next few weeks?
Or maybe it'll fit in the extension, who knows?
Well, yeah.
Are you both getting used to this showbiz life at this point?
Oh, well, this is surreal for me. I mean, 1 week ago today, I was in school doing Soap the Teacher, where children were throwing sponges at me, and then suddenly I'm having sponge makeup done in there. So it's craziness, but we're loving every minute of it, and doing it together makes it extra special.
Of course it does, I know. And it has been an extraordinary experience, hasn't it? Because this all sort of came around from chats that you had, experiences, talking about things that happened in school. And you kind of thought, this is really funny.
Yeah.
And here we are now talking about tours and books and everything else. It's been incredible.
It has. I mean, yeah, I've been a teacher now for about 15 years, and I mean, I'm starting to feel I am the oldest teacher in my school now, and I realised that this year. I was teaching coordinates, right, plotting points on a grid, your x-axis, your y-axis, and we were answering a question. I said, right, what's x? And I went, tell me why, for the y. No one in the class. Everyone looked with utter bewilderment, apart from one child who went, ain't nothing but a heart. And I went, yes, thank God. So guess who got star of the week that week? Yeah. So what made it worse was I had a TA who's early 20s. Even after lessons, she said, I didn't have a clue what you were going on about.
Oh, no.
So, but yeah, so...
I would have known.
Oh, yeah. So no, it's great. And the sort of community we built up through the podcast, where we just get sent some of the funniest stories of what goes on in schools. It just really sort of resonates with a lot of teachers and parents, and just anyone who went to school and sort of looks back now with those fond memories of school. Because even though things are slightly different, it's still the same. You know, so much is still the same. So I really do enjoy sharing those stories and having a real laugh doing it.
Well, the podcast has been hugely successful, but now there's a new live show, which you were on there in 2021, wasn't it, with the last one? But there's a new one. It's called the Show and Tell Tour. Very appropriate. But you're billing it as the ultimate show and tell story.
Yeah, so
what exactly does that mean?
The first half's going to be, you know, us kind of doing observations of things that you find in schools, nostalgic look backs, and then in the second half, it's going to be purely tell, where we've had thousands of unbelievable stories from teachers, which I can give you one now, just a dead quick one. An RE teacher got in touch and said that she was asking the class questions, and he said to the class, what is a Hindu? And a child went, ooh, is it when your mum goes out with her friends and gets really drunk? And the teacher went, no, that's a Hindu.
Oh, there was a teacher up in Yorkshire who said, right, children, history teacher, does anyone know what propaganda means? And a child went, oh, it's when you have a reek good luck.
Propaganda.
And it's those sort of things just honestly make us laugh so much.
But this is the point, there are so many. Is it almost difficult to handpick the ones that you want that feature in the tour then?
We do. And what's interesting, I think a lot of teachers will share these stories thinking, this is so unique, this has never happened, and so many. You know, it's like we did an episode on Sports Day recently, and the amount of stories we got about either dads in the dad's race sort of pulling up with injuries, or mums deciding to do a 100-metre dash in a strapless maxi dress, and you know what's going to happen. You know, basically a couple of mums won by a nipple. Basically, you know, it was. But we get so many stories like, and it's, you think it's unique, but it's so. And I think that's what the podcast helps. Sometimes as a teacher, you might think, is it just me? But actually, it happens to so many of us.
Yeah. You mentioned parents there, and I'm always intrigued by the relationship between teachers and parents, because I'm guessing it's maybe a little bit like the children, and I know you'll probably not be able to answer this. do you have your favourites? Does it feel funny when you bump into them outside of school, in the wild, as you have described it? Because if I still see a teacher, it's still Mr. or Mrs. I cannot get their first name out of my mouth at all.
It's very rare. You know, honestly, I don't work that far away from where I live, but it's very, very rare that I see children out at school. The one time I saw a child was when I was in Primark and I literally had lost my wife and I ended up in the lingerie section. Genuine.
Did you not?
Accidental, right? And then I just heard, Mr. P. And I went, hi, you okay? And I was thinking, I don't know where my wife is. It didn't look great.
We had our end of school do last week, all the teachers, and we booked the function room in the local cricket club. So this function room looks out onto the cricket pitch. And what we didn't realise is all the youth teams have the training on a Friday night. So all the kids from school are there on this cricket pitch looking through these windows. It's like a weird SeaWorld sort of exhibit of all these children looking through the window, pointing at the teacher. You know, stay away from the splash zone, children. Some Jägermeister there, you know.
He was nodding the ball back like a dolphin.
I think that's the point. As a pupil, you don't think of your teacher as being human. You're a teacher. It's a very specific role, isn't it? So that's why I think this works so much, because like you say, it's very nostalgic for lots of us. And it takes you back and reminds you that you have your lives away from, you've got your own children.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that's it. I think this podcast does that, sort of shows the human side of teachers. And we're always professional, do everything we can for our children, but we also have those moments of embarrassment and, you know, sometimes those interactions with parents which can be quite awkward. Like there's a parent who sort of said to the teacher, can I have a quick word? I just want to let you know that my child swallowed a coin. So the teacher's like, right, okay, so he might be a little bit... She went, so I brought you these. It was a food bag and chopsticks. And the teacher's like, what are you expecting me to do with me? Like, forget phonics today, children. I'm just going to watch this child and hope... I mean, I can't pick up sushi with chopsticks.
Chopsticks,
let alone wait. How precious can a coin be, you know?
They're not swallowing a £2, I'll tell you that.
Well, look, like we say, the tour, it's the Two Mr. P's at Podcast UK tour. It's out October 15th. Your book, which was out last year, but it's out in paperback now. This is your own time you're wasting, which is very, very funny. Huge stars following you. You're interviewing lots of celebs now. I know James Corden's a big fan. It's all going very well for you. It's so lovely to see you both.
Oh, thank you.
It really
so much.
is. It's great to have you on.
Oh, cheers.
Stay away from that extension as long as you can. Enjoy London for the day.
Give me a quilt, give me a blanket.
Coming up.